Greetings, some chappers.
I'm the captain.
And I'm Paul.
Yay, Paul's back with us. And look what I can do. Bye.
Oh, you can't though, because yes,
I'm tethered to my
your
chair.
Guitar, but
I'm
you're
wireless
not
with
on
my
your
guitar.
mic.
But look, this is my favourite thing of all time and space now.
Don't do that. Where are you going to stick that next?
Isn't that amazing?
I was wondering how you got it working there, but you're just holding down the little button.
Yeah. I had a little workaround earlier
Yeah.
on. It's the first time I've ever used a wireless system, and it's so much fun. I was walking into the room with Beer, who was like busy tweaking the audio and moving the mics with his headphones on, and I was just annoying him by genting, bamba-cameling, and it was really good fun.
So, why are we here?
We're here to tell you all about this amazing new amplifier from Line 6.
So, yes.
And can I just say, I saw a video about this
Yes.
recently.
Yes.
And wasn't, I don't know, maybe just my opinion, wasn't the best video. And I think maybe it did a bit of a disservice.
It's a funny one.
Just my opinion, just
Had
my
nothing
opinion.
to do with me.
Let's
I was not involved.
let's let's get the let's throw let's get this out there, because it's like, I know what you guys are all saying, and you keyboard warriors there that are ready to start typing. We all know that Spider, earlier versions of Spider have people have had a lot of fun with memes and doing stuff about, saying, and I get that, Spider amps have been around since like goodness knows when, probably like 1990 or something.
I used to own one when I was 20.
The previous range that this is replacing was 6 years old, and that was the fourth evolution. So I can imagine Spider 1 must be like 20 years old or something crazy like. So let's park that and just go, yes, we all know that lots of people on the internet. Actually, do you know what? The weird thing on the video that Paul and I did recently, actually quite a lot of comments from people who said, well, I've got a Spider 4 and I think it sounds fine. So you sit there going, look, whatever.
It's just
Loads
all
of people have.
it's just all the people that stick them on insane settings and just gun the game and don't understand how the mic amp and everything.
And Rob is nailed on and I think, look, hey, we're just going to say it because we're English and we're allowed to. I'm not entirely sure that the kind of the demo that Line 6 America did, where they had the kind of insane gain sounds, I'm kind of thinking, I'm not sure that did anything other than kind of reinforce what it was that people thought that the previous
Nailed on, my friend.
Great. But look, there's a gabillion things in
Paul.
this amplifier.
Hey guys, it's okay. It's okay.
fine. But we got to say these things.
It wasn't me.
And
I think this
Because the thing is, Line 6 do really, really good clean tones, really good crunches. They do some great gain sounds as well.
Yeah.
And I think people kind of miss the point with this kind of product. There are people, I guess like me, who like the... I touched my mic. Sorry, Beer. Can you hear me? Is that good? Okay. There are people like me who like absolute simplicity, because I'm going to get overwhelmed live and I have to sing as well. And so many, people throwing underwear at me on stage, I get mentally overwhelmed. But then there are some people that want to work at home and have hundreds of tones available to them, cleans, crunches, gains, super gains, insane gains. And it's only the Red Spy that will allow you that. I've changed the name. I'm not going to call it Spider anymore. Because if you chop it in half and then say the last part backwards is red.
it kind of looks nothing like, apart from these little corner pieces there, it looks nothing like the previous model.
It sounds
nothing like the previous model. So that's it. We're not going to talk about the previous model anymore. We're just going to talk about the new one.
Yes, we
Spider.
are.
And Paul is going to give us the kind of, what are its bullet point?
So its
Fangs.
bullet pointers there are a lot of new sounds in there. So a massive update in terms of the sound. So it's 200 plus amps and effects. So that's a lot of extra sounds over the last one.
Okay.
The feature that you already started the video with.
I love it. It's my favourite new cool thing.
Yeah.
I've never tried wireless. I was sort of having the volume really quiet and just kind of trying to listen to any sort of, fade out kind of stuff or, noise gatory or any kind of latency, and there was just nothing at all.
This isn't like a proprietary wireless system that's been designed for Spider. This is Line 6's proper relay system.
Oh yeah, it's real.
Just built in
It's
to
real.
the
Yeah,
amp.
no, it's really, really, really good. I mean, I've already...
Basically, starting from the 60 upwards, that's where you're going to get the option of the radio system. So,
well, let me just show you, just if I roll, the volume's completely rolled off and I'm tapped out, but... just flawless, and you can walk around and go and get chips and walk your dog while you're playing. Just be like yo-yos.
200 sounds.
You're not going to walk your dog very far, unfortunately. I feel sorry for the dog, but yes.
What else can we talk about?
Wait, what's the range? What is the range? 50 foot. 50 foot? That's all right. Out the front door. Go on, we. So many men again. I do that all the time. Let it out the front door. Okay, go toilet. Okay, go. Sorry, I digress drastically.
You do. It was good though. It was good. So, I mean, you want to talk about the range?
Yes.
Yeah. So we start off really. We still have the 15-watt amplifier. At 30, that's when things start.
Can we just clarify that as well?
Yeah.
I know I wouldn't say when you say you still have, you mean
We still
classic
have-
15 is more Spider 4
fifth.
than Spider 5?
It's like the traditional Spider, yes.
Right. Okay.
So it has.
So new stuff is really from tech.
Yes.
Is like 30 and upwards.
Yes.
Isn't it? Cool.
Yes. So you start off with a 30. So inside all of these amps, you have drum loops as well. So you can jam along and play along with drum loops.
All right, so you don't need a drummer anymore or a guitar
Yeah,
cable.
a little bit like the Spider Jam in the way that works. So if I was to press that button there, we would either have some drum loops or we would have some demo riffs for stores and things.
All right.
As you move up to the
30,
60...
30's got no wireless though, has it?
No.
So
no,
30's got no wireless, but it's all the other stuff it's got.
Yes, so same. So all of this, exactly the same sounds. It also has the USB on that as well, so you can stream 24-bit all of those sounds, all of those effects and everything straight into your DAW as well. So that's quite a major feature. If it's a 30-watt amplifier,
24-bit?
Yeah.
What's FLAC?
Yeah, you really have.
I don't know. We'll work it out. You put a vinyl in it.
Yeah.
You can't.
Where's the needle?
That's no good, man. What are they thinking?
But it does mean, exactly like you said before, if you want to be a creative guitar player
Yeah.
and you want to have all those different sounds, you can stream all those sounds
Because
straight
I'm
to
not.
your DAW.
Here's the thing. To be honest, I'm not the target market for this amplifier. I'm a professional guitar playing touring guy. I'm not. I was the guy who was learning to play, wanting to try loads of different kinds of amplifiers. I'm not that guy anymore. I've been there and I had amps that did loads of different sounds. But I do remember the excitement of buying a thing that contained everything you ever needed in one box and how cool it was to plug a guitar in. Probably the guitar cost me 50 quid from, I don't know, the equivalent of whatever eBay was
Cash
back then.
converters.
It was the marketplace downtown in Trowbridge is what it was. Trowbridge Marketplace. And you get all these sounds and you can just spend hours and hours and hours sucking and gradually getting a little bit better and feeling great about life. And that's what this is about really, isn't it?
I agree.
That's
So
what it's all about.
we were so there's the 60. If Rob leans that way, maybe one of the cameras will get it in. What's that?
Yeah.
1x10?
It is it's 10-inch speaker on there,
Yeah.
So 8-inch back in the 30 there, then the 10-inch, and then move up to here. We've got the 12-inch speaker.
In the
here.
120.
Your radio system is going to start.
Oh, mate,
on
I've just
the
seen my
60.
name on that amp.
Yeah,
Rob
I-
Soldano.
I
Well, that's cool.
put that in before.
How do you do that?
Well, you do it with the app, and then you save it to the tone cloud.
So could
So-
you write anything at all?
So I will. You could. you could write anything in, but what we can do is because Line 6 got really good at using the app and having this tone cloud where you can share sounds all the time. Same sort of things we had with Amplify. I can share that sound to the tone cloud now as Rob Soldano.
Right.
And anybody who has a Spider at home can download that sound. Just
And you're
search for that
welcome.
sound.
You're more than
And
welcome.
Straight
I
down.
want Glenn Fricker to download it and do a demo. Hey Glenn, how you doing?
So we got the 30, the 60, and the 120 here, and then coming, I think, either later this year or early next year, is a 212, 240. Should we get into the app, or do you want to do something about the sort of color coordinating on the front here that's kind of cool?
I want to talk about both of those things. So, the app makes things really easy to use. We've been using apps for quite some time now. So, the app will function on all of those amplifiers from the 30 upwards, and the app looks like this. And
Does
the
it
app
work on a phone
and the
on
app
Android?
is free. Yes, it'll be on Android. It's on iPhone, or it's on obviously your iPad as well. It's a little bit bigger on the iPad. Who would have thought it?
I would have thought
that. So it's a little bit easier to see. Just makes life really, really easy. We've still got the color coding that you would see on the Firehawk and that you would see on Helix as well. So if we look at the amp behind the Captain here, we can see that we have amp controls. You press the amp switch and you can change up to
It's a lot more Helix than I was expecting it to be. Is that fair enough to say?
That's a nice thing to say.
It seems they've got a lot more.
It's
The way it
it's
looks and touches and
Helix,
feels.
Firehawk, Helix, it's all that
what Line 6 are doing now is they're making things sort of uniform across the line. So you'll see the same icons, you'll see the same colours. So the modelling is not Helix.
Right.
That's a different thing altogether.
Okay.
But if you're familiar with the Helix, you'll understand how to use this.
The functionality is the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or similar.
it's familiar.
Okay.
It's familiar.
I
So
think
if you buy one of these and you learn how to use
Yeah.
it, then when you move to the Helix, it will be a lot
It's
easier
just
to
it's just
understand.
simple stuff like your reverb effects are always color coded to be the same. Your modulation effects are color coded to be the same. So you
like that.
kind of know what to expect just literally based on the color of like if we scroll down to the foot switch, this is kind of things where it comes into its own.
Yeah.
So foot switches can be assigned a color so that it's really obvious. Am I going to switch a reverb?
So what
effect
about
on or
colourblind
off?
people? Not for any for them. It's really
Well,
harsh.
it
Isn't it?
doesn't matter because colorblind people will still see a consistent set of colors.
What about
won't they? It'll
left-handed
just be-
colourblind people?
Well, then that's a problem. So I want to show people the app.
Right. So before we talk about the app, let's
Okay.
just say that let's
Stop showing
you
people
can-
the app, Lee.
You can still pick the app up. You can pick that up. I just want to like on the amplifier range of products, a
Yeah.
lot of people to get the best from that product, you really need to have the app. Spider's not like that. You can do everything from the actual amp itself.
Okay.
So you don't need to use the app.
That's good.
You can see what Lee was showing, desperate to show us before was if you press the amp button. So if you're gigging with this or you want to very quickly tweak the sounds, you press the amp button. Those controls all become the amp.
It's just an
the
amp.
control.
Yeah,
It's an amp. Yeah. You press the effects control or button, and then you instantly have all the effects as well. So each of those pots now will change multiple parameters for delay or for chorus or whatever of the
That's a
100
very,
plus
very
effects,
clever
yeah.
interface because it's
Yeah.
really easy to see exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah. And if you want to deep dive into
Okay.
that,
Paul, come along now.
if you press edit, you can go through and you can tweak all those parameters the same as on the app as well.
Okay.
So you don't need to have that. But the app is pretty, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah.
And
Let me show you. Let me show you
Lee,
the app
Lee, show us the app.
because I like the app.
I like lamp.
I've always, ever since software companies kind of started using real pictures of real pedals and real amplifiers, I've always kind of liked apps. So here's the app. Hopefully you can see this and we haven't got any reflection or anything like that. But on the app, what happens is the right-hand side is all your different presets. So you've got like almost a limitless number of...
So what I'll just add to that, actually, what you're looking at there is my presets.
Yeah.
So those are presets that are stored, that I've stored in the tone cloud and on the iPad and stuff as well. So I can access any of those from any device. In fact, this is actually Lee's iPad here. I can go online and I can search the tone cloud for anybody else who's creating sounds as well. So we could search for
Clapton.
a Clapton. We could type in Clapton there, and as long as the internet in here is working correctly, we should retrieve some tones. And there you go. So all of this, the 80,000 plus guitar tones that are around.
It's found 30 tones that I haven't loaded one yet, so you won't be able to play anything.
But you can do that. So it's yeah. So you could type in Jimi Hendrix, you could type in Clapton, and it's going to look for tones that have been created either by Line 6 guys, either by myself, or either by you guys out there. So you have access to all these sounds. Plus over here you have all of the sounds that are actually inside the amplifier as well. So you wouldn't be pulling sounds down from.
Could you please borrow my friend Peter's Telecaster and play
It
us
is
some
a
lovely,
beautiful Telecaster.
play us some nice
Look at that. Look at
bluesy,
Well,
crunchy clean tones?
Let's just
Do
quickly
you
whiz
want my
through.
lead?
So we talked
Thanks.
about the right hand side of the app being where your sort of presets are and the stuff you can download from the cloud. But the bit I like the best is actually the interface to change the sounds of the unit here, and I just think it's so intuitive. So you can see all my different blocks of either amps or effects in here, and hopefully it's zoomed in enough to see. So here's my one with amps. If I open it, I can really quickly see, what the basic settings on the panel. So this is the stuff I could do from the.
But also, it
amp
means
as
that you can
well.
go from this app to like trolling on YouTube and then really quickly, which would be really great.
Well, which.
Where?
Let's be honest with you, that is the average day for most of our viewers, isn't it? But then what I like as well is you can also then, it's just so intuitive. So you can say, right, I've got all these different kinds of amps. They're split into types. So do I want clean amps, American amps, high gain amps?
It's like
British
shopping for an amp
amps?
that you'd have to buy.
Yeah, so I go high gain and I say, actually, what do I really want? I want the Uberschall. So I hit that. I press done, and then I'm straight back into doing this. I can do cabinet emulation, and then all my effects. So
You can change the mics on the cabinet as well.
yeah,
So if you-
but it's
Really?
anybody that's thinking, oh, I've never done this before. Is it going to be difficult? It's like no.
It's a bit of a far shout from the original Spider when I had with the chrome knobs with the grooves in it and everything.
The
and
far shout it was from. Do you remember? Wait, do you remember they did the AX212?
Yeah.
And the front panel had this big, about this big, had this kind of grid reference of parameters, and you had to like literally put like playing battleships. You had to sort of line up the LEDs down one side with the, you know, and most of the parameters you didn't even really know what they did, and it was just.
Do you know how old that amp is?
20 years?
20? You do know.
Oh, it is 20 years. Of course, it's 20th
exactly
anniversary, isn't it?
It's the very first product that Line 6 ever did. Yes,
Yeah.
it's exactly 20 years. Well done.
So, yeah, it doesn't actually sound like that long when you say it like 20 years, does it? But it just seems like forever ago.
I think all that stuff sounds like 20 years when you think of how clever your mobile phone was 20 years ago, and how clever
you're
your
absolutely
PC
right.
was 20 years ago, and your computer, and you know, the technology's just moved on so far in all those areas, and obviously in the amp modelling as well. And
Right, play something.
So look, I said I've probably just ended up on some random sound. So what sound would you like, Paul?
He's got his own go-to sound.
Yeah,
doesn't
you'll
he?
have a sound.
Yeah.
well,
He's got a special sauce.
I'm quite new to this amp as well, so let's see how we do. So let's go for right on. So we might have to.
JTM was nice, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So let me go for that one there.
Cool. I mean, just before Paul starts to play, you can really quickly see this is actually quite a stripped down patch here, because you can actually see most of the effects blocks are switched off. So we've got a 1965 Plexi 45 amplifier, and the only other stuff that's actually switched on now is a delay and a reverb. And I can see that in like 2 seconds just from looking here, and I can see he's got some other effects that are like ready to go, linked in with the floorboard, so we know that there'll obviously be a tube drive and a univibe kind of ready to go if he just hits a button on the floorboard. And it's just so easy to see.
No insane distortion then.
What?
Not for me in this
I'm
patch.
really upset about that.
But like you said, it's all color coded. If you move those effects around in different orders as well, or in a different way, the color codes and the lights are going to change on there as well. So so that's all multicolored. So that doesn't always have to be a blue LED.
Sick.
That's going to change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it, bro.
Can we put that little tube screamery kind of effect on here? Is it, which one is it assigned to?
I always think it's unfair having Paul Highmarsh demonstrate any product, because he's so ridiculously talented and tasteful that he could make a rubber band played through.
But that's what I like. That's what I like about the pedal.
I even forgot to pick up a plectrum there, so don't be too cruel.
We kind of knew that.
Try that.
Whatever. We kind of knew that FS2 had to be the sort of the drive pedal because it's got the orange kind of ring round it.
Yeah, man.
And therefore, we
knew because you told me it was
orange
that
would
one.
be the drive thing. So,
Yeah.
What about something a little bit crunchier?
Yeah. So let's go through some of those sounds.
do you want your Bogner, or do you want your, what do you want? The Bomber or the Bassman?
Yeah, let's go for that bass one, yeah.
That's great.
What's the there's like a before after. Is there like a preview thing or a way of changing a thing and then going, oh, I don't like that. Can I go back to what I had before? Or?
No, it's where it is in the signal chain.
So before the amp or after the amp?
You probably wouldn't want to put your tube driver there.
No, I would just...
But you may want to put your delay there as well.
That makes sense. You see, there's like a... I wasn't sure if there was a way of going, what does it sound like before, what does it sound like after? But I've realised, of course, what it's saying is, where do you want the pedal, before the amp or after the amp?
Yeah,
it sounded really nice.
So things like delay, you could decide to have that post amp or before the amp there as well. You can have up to 8 effects at once as well. And if you wanted to have multiples of delays, if you wanted to be the Edge and you want to have 2 or 3 delay pedals, you could do that as well.
I'm just going to break it to you now. I don't think the Edge is going to buy a Spider.
He might.
I might be wrong.
He has done some...
I might be wrong.
He has used some unusual Line 6 products in the past.
Is he really?
Isn't he the DL4? Isn't that his kind of... He's got DL4s.
Yeah, DL4s. He used to use the rack version one. He used to have multiple versions of that. And the effect side of this is pretty much the same sort of thing. All those DL4 sounds are kind of in here as well. So yeah.
Let's go up a level then, Paul. Are you happy with that guitar, or did you want something? Do you want to try something with some P90s on it, or did you want to try Les Paul, or what did you want to try?
Yeah, let's plug this Les Paul in because that's right by my side.
And we'll go to what, the Bomber?
Yeah.
It's a Bomber.
Yeah.
That sounds
Naughty, isn't
nice.
it? It's a bit naughty.
Wagner Uberschall there.
I don't know. It's one of those things where you kind of go, I hope it records well and ends up on the internet well, because that was good.
Yeah, it's sounding nice. What was the other one that you wanted to do? We got. I mean, there's so many patches in here. P90 guitar, and we'll fiddle with that.
Well, I've got it right here for you.
You're very kind.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
What do you fancy then?
So I'm going to unplug this, and you'll see that it actually mutes the guitar sound, but Rob found a cunning way around that before of actually holding down the little button so you could do all the...
Oh, so it's got the little micro switch button on the...
Yeah, so it actually mutes as you unplug it. Rob just found a way around it, and
Have we made it clear that you don't have to do that? You can just plug a guitar lead into the front of the amplifier.
Why would you bother?
Right, what's the sound then that you want for this?
Something Yamaha-y.
Do you want some drum beats to go with your...
So yeah,
That'll definitely. I was enjoying that.
How many different drum loops are there?
So you got 19 different drum loops as well.
Oh, that's cool. And I did actually, look at this. I've never used this before, but I did even work out actually how to, it's pretty straightforward to, let's find another loop that's amusing.
And is it true that Lars Ulrich did all of the programming?
No, it's not. But it is there are some very famous drummers in there as well.
Power funk, punk rock, a two-step. You going to give us some Stevie Ray or something? What do you want to do? Blues shuffle? They're quite good sounds, actually, the drum sounds, aren't they? And you got an independent volume for the drums and the guitar as well, so you can balance that up to get that right.
Okay.
Should we do a bit of looping?
Yes.
A looper.
Okay, yeah. Let's do the loop. So there's 60 seconds of loop time on there. Obviously, have all the patches, so you can start recording, or like you can stack a clean guitar part, and then you can put a distorted part on top of that as well. So you can keep layering those parts up. Works like a very familiar pedal that I guess most of the viewers will be familiar with as a fairly basic loop pedal. You press that function button there. It's going to start recording. You press it again, it's going to stop, and it's going to start looping the parts around you. So one of the other major things that we need to talk about, so before we do the loop thing, it might be worth talking about this, is that every single one of these amps from the 30 upwards is full range. So you can plug an acoustic guitar in there, and that's one of the reasons why the drum loop sounds so good, is because it's actually got all the top end that's coming from the horn as well.
It's possibly why some of you eagle-eyed people might be going, this is a bizarre kind of miking configuration that we've got here. and it's because there is a high frequency driver here, and obviously the main driver here, and it does present you've got to approach miking these up differently to how you would mic up.
Yeah,
a
if you see
conventional
somebody on
guitar.
YouTube micing it with just one mic in the middle, they're doing it wrong. You can troll the hell out of them.
That's how we actually recorded it in fairness when we were at Yamaha HQ.
Yeah,
wasn't
why I
we
said
did.
it.
I mean, the other thing
but,
to mention is you get XLR outputs on the 120 and the 240 as well, so you can DI those sounds straight away as well.
Well, let's put that to the test. Let's grab an acoustic
Ready?
guitar.
Yeah,
and
let's
let's
grab-
see. Hang on.
so let's-
We're going to
yeah,
grab
let's
an
grab
acoustic
an
guitar
acoustic.
and
Today's gonna be the
Then I gotta bring it back to you. I think you better bolster the door from all these single women that are going to be running in hordes to try and
That-
pin down Paul.
ladies and gentlemen, is why Paul Hindmarsh is paid the big bucks. Because it sounds great.
I hope he's paid the big bucks.
And I love the. I mean, I love the simplicity of it in that you know it's just literally
Yeah, that
all
was
you're
really
doing is
simple.
overdubbing stuff. But I love how creative it allows you to be at the same time.
So for me, it has to come back to that creativity. That's what I love about. That's like the having those amount of sounds and having the facilities to be able to do that.
So it just sounds weird to go, creativity. That's what I love about the Spider amp. But the thing
Well,
is,
it's true.
it
It's
is.
true.
It's
You know,
true. Things
the-
have changed.
Some guys just want to have a basic one sound amp that sounds great and one guitar, and that's awesome, you know. But if you want to be really creative and do lots of different things and have access to those sounds and record
Hammy's learning stuff.
recorded bedroom volumes, all those things, then amps like this, that's where this
Yeah.
this
I've
stands
said
apart.
I've said it before in videos that we've done over the last couple of days. All the amp manufacturers are almost kind of finding their thing, aren't they? Like, what do you do? What are you going to try and do? And there'll be customers out there that are going to go, that's in tune with what I want to do, and maybe that's not, or whatever. And I just think that, the Spider's just going to be another really viable option for people.
I'm just a bit sad that we haven't done the insane setting yet.
Well, do you want to play out on the
No, it's
insane
fine.
setting?
Absolutely not. No.
I think even the, I mean, let's just, if we sort of break down some of the other stuff that people will be asking about, so we can give you an indication in terms of pricing. The one that we're using here, which is the kind of the biggest one at the moment, this is going to set you back around about the 360 quid mark.
And the little plug-in is guitar.
Everything is extra, so you know, bear that in mind before you plunge into this. You know, your transmitter is extra. That's about 80 quid. The foot switch is extra.
Can I say that the transmitter is absolutely required?
Yeah. 80 quid doesn't seem like a lot.
You would want that. You would want this, yeah. So if you do that, you need to buy anything from the 60 watt amplifier up.
And also, it's just worth saying that you can get that separate from the amplifier. You can get the whole system.
Yeah, so Line 6 is the Relay G10, so check that system out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the other thing not so sure that we talked about really before with this is this bug will actually charge inside the amplifier. That's what's happening there. So on the Relay G10, you have the transmitter and the receiver, and the receiver charges the transmitter. It's the same with the amplifier, except it's all hidden inside that input jack there as well.
Can I say something negative without being shot by the Line 6 police?
No.
I don't like the fact that the iPad has to be plugged in.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
I kind of think it just is what it is. But just so you guys know, I don't want to be accused of misleading anybody. So you can wander off wherever you want to go with your guitar with the bug. But if you want to use the iPad editor, you've got to be plugged in.
Just think of it as having a nice screen on the amplifier.
Look,
it doesn't have to be that mobile. You don't have to move that far away.
It's not the end of the world. I'm just saying. It's got to be plugged in. It does charge the iPad at the same time.
It does, yeah. And you can stream the music from your iPad as well down that cable. So if you do have an iPhone 7, so this did come up the other day.
Yes.
If you have the iPhone 7, you don't need to use the headphones, the headphone socket on that, because there is not one apparently. You could actually just play the music down that cable.
Oh, no, there is one. You just have to drill a hole in the bottom, and then you get to the headphones.
My wife got the iPhone 7 the other day. You get a little adapter with it. You can use your headphones. It's all fuss about nothing, isn't it?
But if you want to plug anything else in, all of the amplifiers have an auxiliary in as well.
Okay.
So you can plug straight into that as well and actually play whatever you want into the back of the amp. And remember, it's a really important feature is that it's full range for music, it's full range for those drum loops, and it's full range really important because you don't need to have an acoustic guitar amplifier. It's going to do the acoustic thing as well.
I think it's kind of taken like a step. I just saw the little battery indicator for the... tells you on here how much battery life you've got left in your thing.
Wow.
But
how long do I have?
It's got an alarm clock
2
as
out
well.
of 3 bars you've got left. I think visually as well, they've kind of... I think Line 6 have almost gone, look, we got a bit of a beating over the look of Spider 4. It was a bit like trying to be space age. So
It's an old amp.
So I think they've sort of gone, look, but they've kind of gone, look,
I
but
think
we're
it
not
looks
really...
a little bit like a prototype, personally.
Well, it's. I think that you got to sit there going, Line 6. It's not a vintage guitar amp brand. You know, it's not Fender. It's not Marshall. So it would be contrived to go. Let's make it look vintage
Tweed.
looking. And I think they've sort of gone, look, okay, Spider 4 was a bit too much like we tried to make it look a spaceship. So I think they've kind of gone, look, let's just make a black amplifier that's kind of inoffensive. It just no one's gonna go, wow, it's the greatest looking amp ever. But equally, no one's ever gonna go, it's a horrible looking amp because it's just.
It looks like a piece of hi-fi equipment.
It's just
That's
like
what
a
it looks
black
like.
amp with a nice sort of
really
grill
like
cloth.
I think the colours look awesome.
Yeah.
I think they're sexy
I
colours.
like colours as well, Paul.
They're like Helix. They're like Helix colours and Firehawk colours. They're cool.
But I don't really, I think it's a packed amp full of features. In terms of just pure features, it absolutely puts this kind of top of the tree in terms of all the sort of modelling amps that are out there. So all you've really got to do is kind of go, is that your bag? I mean, there'll be loads of guys out there as well who are going to go, that's what I want. And then there'll be people who also go, no, I want something that's more simple to operate. And we've said that loads of times. So
absolutely,
just you make your choice.
So, well, there you go. There are a lot of these new amplifiers on the market. Which one you choose is entirely up to you, based upon what your requirements are.
That's the message.
We're interested to know in the comment section below what you think.
But basically, most importantly, it just sounds way better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's replacing.
Yeah, I don't think they should call it the spider anymore. I think it's evolved.
Well,
what happens to spiders when they evolve? Is it a crab?
I like your red
Gets
spy.
armor. Should be the crab.
I like your red spy.
Red spy's pretty
Red
good.
spy. Anyway, before we get any more arachnophobic, let's just wind this up, shall we?
Well, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
And I'm Paul.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.
Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.